In order to keep a stable environment, to provide the things cell needs to stay alive and to get rid of waste, cells transport some substances in and out through the cell membrane that is referred to as cell transport. When the molecules moves from one place to another as a result of concentration gradient, the transport is said to be passive in nature. The concentration of a substance can be said as the amount of the substance. By amount, I mean any physical quantity, whether it be a number, volume, mass, etc. And when the amount of any substance is more on one side and less at the other side in a system, then the substances starts to move from the higher concentration towards the lower concentration, and they move until there is an equal amount of substance on either sides or in the whole system. In other words, they move till the system attains the state of equilibrium. The movement of the substances stops as soon as the system attains the state of equilibrium because the concentration gradient is no more to drive the substances. And this defines the nature of the process and gives it the name passive transport, as it does not require any cellular energy to transport molecules across the membrane. Simple diffusion and facilitated diffusion are the two subtypes of the passive transport. Simple diffusion is the random movement of any substance from the higher concentration towards the lower concentration. Simple diffusion requires nothing else than a concentration gradient to transport substances. But simple diffusion is not enough to transport large water-soluble molecules like glucose. That is because the lipids that make up the plasma membrane are hydrophobic or water repelling. But the cell needs glucose. Then what? Well, the plasma membrane has a solution embedded in it to transport hydrophilic substances. All you need is an eagle eye to see the solution. By the way, you don't need it if you are my subscriber. Okay, so to transport water-soluble molecules, the plasma membrane has some special types of proteins embedded in it and are called as transport proteins or permeases. And these proteins are ever ready to go through the hell in order to transport water-soluble molecules. At first, these proteins binds themselves with any water-soluble substance coming near them. After binding, these proteins changes their shapes in such a way to form a passage for the substance to go across. This passage is called the transport channel. And when the substance is transported, then these proteins comes back to their original shape to receive a new substance in order to go through the same hell again. Facilitated transport moves the substances in both directions depending upon whether the concentration is higher inside or outside the membrane. And yes, facilitated transport also doesn't require any kind of cellular energy. Everything happens as a result of concentration gradient. But what when there is no concentration gradient, or the concentration gradient inside the cell is more than the surrounding environment? In that case, the mitochondria of the cell releases energy in the form of ATP. The released ATP molecule binds itself with the carrier protein, where it gets hydrolyzed to ADP, releasing energy. The released energy is utilized by the protein for binding the substance and moving it across the membrane. Because the energy is being utilized, this process is called as the active transport.